to me, it just felt like the whole show's foundation just crumbled. And that's why I said the floodgates are opened, the dam broke. What is going to happen now?
It's Breaking Bad.
Yeah. We're back. We're here doing the review for Better Call Saul Season 6, Episode 9, Fun and Games, that just came out today. Or if you're watching this, yesterday. And oh my gosh, this was a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of blown away by how good it was coming off such a good episode. As Better Call Saul tends to not do that too often. And very impressed with it.
Me too. I thought things would be slower. And so with it being slower, I thought not much would happen. Just like seeing the aftermath and like people adjusting after all that's happened and stuff. But still lots of like big things, at least in my opinion, happened.
Yes. And I'm really excited to be able to give it our score and be able to get into that second half podcast so we can actually go over some of these points because there's a lot of them. And just for the viewer, since this is only our third one, I want to give you the quick rundown again. Our first half will be non-spoiler, where we give our scores. And then the second half will be the longer, more podcast feel, where we'll go over the spoilers. So right now, let's just give some thoughts, initial thoughts and reactions to the episode without the spoilers. So, coming straight off it, like I said, it surprised me. Not in the beginning of the episode, as it did start a little slower. Not too quick. Just kind of slowly showing us, as Better Call Saul does, with long, drawn-out scenes showing you the way they want you to feel about the characters. And then more towards the end, quick in that quick first quarter, there was a part that I really enjoyed, and in the end, really, really hot.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about that.
Uh-huh.
That's the only word I can use. Hot. It's really hot. And that was my initial reaction. Just surprised.
Me too. Just that I wasn't expecting it, and I was like, wow, that was good too. Because I wasn't expecting to love this episode as much. Just based off what I was thinking was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's my reaction. Surprised, and like, now I'm even more eager to see the next episode on what's going to happen then. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. They really have opened up, without going into detail, they've really opened up the doors. The floodgates have been opened to where next episode, whatever they want to do, they can do it. And
yeah,
I feel at a loss, because at the end we're also going to be giving our predictions, and I'm at a loss for what I'm going to predict. But because those floodgates are opened, and it's awesome. It's a great feeling. I'm really excited. So let's get straight into our quick description of the episode, and then we'll give our reviews.
Okay.
So, what we wrote was, this episode brings closure to past episodes of the season, representing an aftermath of such events. It ends with a shocking twist that crumbles the foundation of the show, but in a good way.
Very good way. Mm.
Yeah. You have any thoughts on our bio?
No, I think it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps it vague.
Yep.
But a little something, something.
A little something, something. So for the midnight release score, we're actually going to give this a 94 out of 100. There's a little back and forth between 94 up to 96, but yeah. 94 feels right for this one. And then our entertainment score was actually higher at 97% out of 100. Mm-hmm. I just, as a Better Call Saul fanatic and Breaking Bad fan, Breaking Bad fanatic as well, I feel like my entertainment tends to be higher than what I am willing to give the episode. And this one was that way. I ate it all up. And then lastly, we are the Michelin star of the entertainment industry. And just a reminder, we do not give stars for episodes. We only give it to full shows, seasons. So at the end of this season, we will give a star. Give the stars accordingly if it deserves it.
Which I think it might.
It probably will. So do you have any thoughts on the scores?
I think I was just surprised thinking about what we wanted to give the entertainment score and how it was higher than last episode.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I was like...
Well, quick, for a recap, our last score which I could see people and fans actually giving the last episode higher in both regards.
Mm-hmm.
I could see, because we gave the last one a 90 score with an entertainment of 92 or 94. Yeah. Yep. So we gave both higher actually in this one.
Yes. And I thought it would be like, oh, it's not going to be as intense. The stakes aren't super high, so it's just not going to be as enjoyable. But I'm just surprised that I found it more enjoyable. Yeah. Much higher.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of it has to do with these 2 points I'm going to bring up right now. The first one is whenever an episode tends to be extremely linear, it tends to make me fall out a little bit. Just a little bit. Because the last episode was linear in terms of it was just one story going through the entire time with no split-offs. Not that it's a bad thing. I enjoyed this type of episode better. And then the last episode was, I felt like there's only 3 real plot points that happened. And the whole thing was being pulled by the ending scene. Mm-hmm. So, but this one, I was enjoying every part. They were all explaining and giving detail into the background of the stories. And then the ending was, like I said, in the bio, the shocking twist that crumbles the foundation of the freaking show, but in a good way. And that in itself made the episode better. Just that one scene.
Yeah.
No, that
yeah.
That montage, whatever, the whole thing. That by itself better. Love it. Did not expect it. Never would have guessed that. Even though maybe I did guess it. And we're gonna go over last week's episodes, what we predicted, because I was kind of on point. So, yeah, those are our reviews. Thanks for watching this first half, and our link will be right here if you want to watch the full podcast. Thank you for watching. All right, now we're getting right into it. We're gonna go over all the main plot points again, give our highlights, lowlights, our thoughts on everything, because there's a lot to go over. So the very first thing, straight into the opening, was them reacting to the moment in a very subliminal way. You don't see it, but you know, we as the viewers know how they're thinking in their brains, but they're acting like it's complete normal.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes.
With the great background song, what was the words in that song?
It's a perfect day. Today's a perfect day.
Yeah, something like that. I loved it. Just Better Call Saul-esque right there.
And they're just so good with their opening scenes, like with montages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love the transitions back and forth with Kim and Saul and Mike cleaning everything up. Mm-hmm. They're just so good at it, and it's so aesthetically pleasing. And I loved, like, I don't remember specific details, but like something that Kim was doing would fade into what Mike was doing. Like, they take something similar of Kim's, like, whatever setting it was into Mike's, just transitioning so smoothly. Love it. They're so good at that.
Mm-hmm. And I just feel like Breaking Bad is the best. From what I've seen in my life, Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are the best at doing montages. Like, their cook scenes are my favorite. Cook and drug dealing scenes, the montages. Whatever they do in montage, it's always very... It keeps your attention.
Yeah, it does.
Which I can't say for every montage. But
yeah, you would think you just kind of fade out in those kind of moments.
No, they always do really good.
Yep.
And then they also do their classic, for Better Call Saul, the classic coffee scene.
Yep.
They've probably shown that coffee machine 1,000 times.
I want to try it so bad just because you see it all the time.
I don't want to try it, but I want to see it.
I mean, I know it's... yeah, I know. But, you just kind of want to get a... I'll take some OJ or something.
Yeah. I think it's the very first episode is where they show Jimmy getting the cups 10 times at least in that montage.
Yeah.
Like, just constantly getting drinks while he's working hard. And I'm pretty sure that's the opening episode, but...
And they look pretty fine, Jimmy, Saul, and Kim. I don't know what to call him now. But they looked like they were acting pretty normal. I was, like, impressed. I don't know. That.
And I wouldn't say I'm impressed. That's what I expected.
Well, I guess I liked it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. They acted well in the scene. Yeah. But it's completely expected of their characters.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Just appreciated it.
Yeah, I didn't think they would fail at all in that regard.
Nope.
Second, we got the scene of Gus in Mexico at the cartel home. of Don Eladio. And so my initial reaction, so right, he comes in. If you only watched Breaking Bad once, you might not recognize the house as it was dimly lit. But he rolls in, there's a bunch of cars, and I immediately knew it was Don Eladio's place. And just, this is the point I wanted to bring up. I have seen Breaking Bad 10 times, so I trust my opinion on these things, as I've seen every scene so many times in Breaking Bad. But when Gus walks in to the pool area, and Don Eladio, Bolsa, and Salamancas are sitting there.
Okay.
When he walks in, there's this ominous background music, and when he's shaking their hands, there's like this kind of aesthetically dark camera angle.
Yep.
And I personally do not find that as appealing as Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad, I already told you this, that's why you're not reacting. But Breaking Bad, everything in that show felt realistic to me. Like, it just felt like there was a camera recording what was actually happening. And this, it just feels a little bit more produced in a higher manner of like, we're gonna have this great song that's like giving this symbolism to the moment and these clips, these faces showing. But I don't prefer it that way. I prefer to like feel like I am just sitting watching this experience happen.
You're just a witness.
Yeah, that's not the way the moment would feel in real life. That background music. I'm just not a huge fan of background music in most instances. For me personally.
Yeah, I hear it. I didn't hate it too much.
No, I don't hate it.
Oh.
I'm not trying to say that. I do not hate it. I just think Breaking Bad is superior in most ways, and I think that is one of the ways it's superior. Because every moment it just feels so realistic.
True.
Yeah.
Well, with that, they did make it feel like, okay, did he get away with it or not? Because obviously they didn't make it seem like it was over.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like Breaking Bad doesn't need the thrills of music and those angles and like the darkness on the faces to try to represent the feeling. You felt it through the acting and what was being said and like what was, being said. And then also, again, we've already mentioned this, but just the prequel-ness of the show, we know nothing bad will happen to any of those people necessarily.
Yeah, watching it, I wasn't stressed that
You're just like,
Gus would be caught or...
It's just, you're just more excited to learn. That's what, You're
uh-huh.
just excited to learn what's going to happen, and regardless, it's just exciting, but it's just not the same thing. And that's just, a thing. That's all I'm going to say. It's a thing,
Seems like you really hate that.
No. Yeah, I don't want people to think I hate it. This is my observation. So
that's what you prefer. Yeah. And I think I do too, but I didn't notice it like you did.
Yeah. That's another thing I want to bring up. Batman, the new Batman movie that came out.
With Robert
Pattinson.
Okay.
Like, all my family loved it, and I liked it a lot. Would I say love? I don't know if I'd say love, but I really liked it as well. But
I thought it was great.
It's great. The super obvious musical background songs,
okay.
I hate it. And I was talking with Calvin, the co-host. He had no problem with it, but I just don't enjoy it.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Just let the moment play itself. Just walk up.
Well, I
just
feel
let
like
Batman walk up and let his face in the moment speak for itself.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I feel.
I definitely forgot. Like, there was like a couple moments I'm like,
yeah,
like just cringing a little bit. Not that I thought it was horrible or something, but I do remember feeling like, I don't think we need this kind of music or this kind of song.
I wouldn't say cringy, right? It was just more like not needed.
Yeah,
right?
I just kind of like.
And I feel the same way about Better Call Saul. I don't feel like it was as bad as that, but it was like, you don't need that.
Yeah,
don't just have this constant background music. I don't need that. So, and we learned some important things there.
Yeah.
We learned that, it's reiterated that two things are reiterated. One, Gus is in good standing with Don Eladio.
Yeah.
Even though Salamancas are not, which we expected going into it.
Yep.
Into that scene. And then also, he reiterates that the Salamancas will have the, what do you call it?
The South Valley?
The South Valley is what they call it, yes.
What it's called?
The Salamancas will have the South Valley, and Gus will have everything else north.
Something that I liked with that, what's his name? Don Hector, accusing him of Gus of assassinating Lalo, was that, like, Gus is such a smooth talker, right? He can paint a story and be like, no, like, this is what happened, or this is what I've been wanting to do, or whatever the heck. So I was expecting him to be a smooth talker again. But he's so smart that he's like, if I try and smooth talk, or if I try and make some kind of, it's like, oh no, it wasn't me, and like come up with something, it would make him look more suspicious than being like, this accusation is so stupid.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say about it.
Yes. He's
smart.
He has the genius to know when to shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And like with Hank in Breaking Bad, when they are questioning him around the table, he knows that he has to speak, and he knows he has to give the entire story, because he's a public servant to the. He's in a figurative way, he's a public servant because he's always helping the cops. He's doing a lot
donating
of donations, so he knows he has to give the full story because that's the best for that situation.
Mm-hmm.
But for this one, just don't speak, and just say what he said. It's not worth even talking about. And then at the end,
oh sorry,
yeah. Then at the end, Don Eladio says, because he also made the same comment in a past episode where he says, "I know what someone feels through their eyes," and I think he says that to Nacho, if I believe. Like, I know what people think when I look in their eyes. So
I don't remember that.
And then Don Eladio is staring into Gus's eyes, and then at the end, as Gus is leaving, he tells him, "I see in your eyes hate," and for him, and he's fine with it, just as long as it's not too much, because he doesn't want them to be buddies.
Yep.
Or at least he knows it'll never be that way.
Right.
Because they killed his boyfriend.
And that kind of shows. I mean, because I see Don Eladio, and he's like a pretty like ha 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 kind of man. Mm. But he's not too stupid, He's not too oblivious. He sees that Gus hates them, or the Salamancas. So, or even him too. Was he talking about himself too, like the whole group? Or was he talking about the Salamancas when he said?
Probably both. I think both. Okay. Well, he said, "Remember who's your boss."
Yeah, true. Okay.
So it was about him.
Yeah.
It's at least about him too. So then we get to Gus walking over to the pool, and he looks into the water at where his boyfriend died, or as we are 92% positive that it's his boyfriend.
Yeah.
What's your face for?
No, I was just like, why would we be 92? But I guess because it wasn't ever confirmed.
We don't know if he just really cared about him or if he loved him. But then, right after, it cuts to Gus with the waiter at a restaurant or a bar.
A restaurant with
or bar, and I think that transition showing that he had this face of care for this man.
Yeah.
I would say probably in a sexual way. That's my guess, okay?
And you'd only think that because of the pool scene and the transition.
The transition from the pool to that, and then he has this face of, I don't look at men like that.
I would say, if with in the back of my head, assuming that that's what it was the most flirty I ever saw him with those the googly eyes.
Yes, yeah, he's never looked like that in all the 8 seasons he's in, and so now when we were once 92% sure that he's at least bisexual, I could say we at least now know 99.9, because that's a very obvious transition, correct?
Yeah, but wasn't the transition that he went home and then to the bar?
Yeah,
but I guess it's still on your mind.
It's the same thing.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's what. That whole scene just seemed kind of a waste to me.
That's what I was going to say. I want to know, will he be back again? Yes. Or was it just showing that he was cooling off after a whole stressful situation of trying not to be caught?
It's just, those moments just don't feel necessary to me. I have these times in my time watching Better Call Saul, and I know it sounds like I'm a hater at times, but I'm not. It's just, I can't help but compare Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad to get to the same. And there just never really feels like wasted 10 minutes like that in Breaking Bad. It just felt like a waste to me. I don't need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, you can say Marie's kleptomania was a waste of time. And yes, that was only a few scenes. 1, 2, and then Skylar talking about it, and then the 2 times at the house, probably 5 times, whatever. it does add to the pressures of Hank and to Skylar.
Yep.
It does do things like that. This scene just doesn't feel necessary to me.
Yeah. I wonder if it'll play again.
Yeah.
Later
I
on,
don't
or if
mind.
it's
I don't
not.
mind learning more about the characters and whatnot.
No.
It's not like it's a negative. It's just in comparison to Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad just didn't ever need to fill the time that this show feels like it needs to. And to all those people who say Better Call Saul's better, I'm sorry, you are wrong. Okay.
And I could see you saying that, but I won't be like, oh yeah, definitely, just because I've seen Breaking Bad once, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
With what you're saying is completely true, or if I would agree.
Mm.
But something from that scene, even though I wasn't sure how to feel about it, I was cool with it. But I love that when the bartender left to go get another bottle of wine to show Gus, that Gus turns his face and the camera straight on him.
Yep.
From a slight grin to just completely dark and serious.
Mm-hmm.
It just gives you the creeps because you just know that Gus is not a normal kind of guy.
Yep.
I don't know. I just like
he's
that.
He's very organized with his money when he puts it on the table.
I know, and that's the thing. When he came home, from Mexico from Donalarios, and you just see him opening the blinds and whatever. Not as
they spend a lot of time
guard.
in the show doing that.
Uh-huh.
Both with Mike and Gus. They also showed that
True,
with Mike in the opening sequence. They showed how detailed Mike was of completely de-Howarding and de-Laloing the apartment.
Yeah.
Pulling out the insulation in the walls to get the bullet, just to make sure every single thing was not checked, was unchecked, was checked off. So next we got Mike showing Nacho's. Okay, so we see Mike pull out Nacho's father's card. I can't remember his name right now, and I'm mad. But
neither can I. Sorry.
But there's not much to go over here except the fact that, right, number one, now his father can have closure over his son.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming Nacho's storyline is gone. And then secondly, again, it's reiterated that Nacho's father is kind of a standard of being a wholesome person.
Yeah.
That's been a common occurrence whenever he's on screen. He's never going to choose the wrong path.
I love him.
Yeah.
He breaks my heart because of that.
Yeah.
Because, he's
just such a good guy.
He just seems like he's just trying to be a good guy.
Yeah.
Do his work, earn his pay, all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
And he tried to help his son and, wish the best for his son, but his son just didn't listen.
Mm-hmm.
Stuck with what he was doing. I don't know. It makes me sad because you could see how much he loved Nacho and cared for him to not be in the drug world.
Yeah. And he didn't care about revenge for his brother. Or for his son. Or not revenge. What they call it? Justice. Mm-hmm. He does not want justice because to him it's revenge, which is what he said. And it just continues to show his wholesomeness. And because of this scene, I don't know if they were going with now we're going to finish Nacho's storyline and now it's complete. His father knows and it's all done. Or if we're going to continue to show that he's a good guy to then kill him to make you mad because he's a good person.
I swear if that happens,
yeah,
I would cry.
I would not bet my bottom dollar on that one, but
you know what? I never saw Howard dying in the beginning of this show.
That's something I'll say. I was wrong with that. Christian, my brother-in-law, he kind of called it, and I told him no.
Oh, he did?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We were playing Warzone, and we were talking about it, and I just recently watched an interview with Howard, and the way he responded to this question, they said, what they say? It was Rich Eisen, and he said, I'm really excited to see how your storyline ends and seeing how you're affected by all this. And then the way Howard responded, the actor, it just made me feel like, okay, he's going to live. Because he said, there's no reason to believe that anything bad's going to happen to me. Because I could easily just be a lawyer in the city.
Sneaky.
And I just never have any connection, That's basically what he said. And after that, I was kind of like, okay, he's probably going to live. I doubt he'll just going to say that. But
something, though, you saying that and, us not thinking that he would die, I feel like I saw something that Bob Odenkirk, kind of spoiled Howard dying. But I just saw it as, in passing, just going through things. So I should confirm it. But it was, Bob Odenkirk had taken a photo or a picture with Howard. And it was, a selfie. And you can see like his hair a little bit out with like a little bit of like blood on it.
Oh yes, you showed me that.
Did he spoil that, or I can't remember?
I don't know. You showed me it. You just showed me the picture though, so I can't say that was not me.
So I'm glad we didn't see that. If it was actually a spoiler.
Yeah.
Or if he actually Anyways.
So next in the plot points, we got Howard's funeral, and we learn about the demise of HHM, changing the name, thus completely killing off Howard's reputation and his work.
So rough.
Through Jimmy
so
and
rough.
Kim. And then probably, easily the biggest part of this moment, of this entire scene, was Kim's conversation with Howard's wife, lying to him about seeing Howard snorting cocaine while at work. Mm-hmm. Just completely lied. And I totally saw it. When she was like, I just never could ever see this happening. I just don't believe it. And when I saw Kim have that look on her face, like, okay, I'm gonna tell her. And in my heart, I knew she was gonna lie and just continue to damn themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
They're already so deep into
too,
it.
Right? You could guess that.
Yeah.
Okay. She wasn't gonna go back now.
Because the wife was like, no way did he do that. So she wasn't believing them either.
Yeah.
And then Kim is just so good at saying the right thing to get her off their back about it. It makes me so sad because we know that Howard and his wife didn't have like an amazing marriage because he was going to counseling for it. And it seemed like maybe the marriage wasn't going to last. Mm-hmm. And so I mean, of course you'd be distraught because it's someone that you knew. But like, it just broke. Too. Yeah. So it just broke my heart seeing how sad she was.
Yeah. I'm sure she had the regret feeling, the feeling of.
What if?
I should not have, we should not have thought,
Yeah. That's so sad. I hate that everything that he's done is gone.
Yeah.
And that must have just ate at Kim and Saul or Jimmy.
And I feel like Kim lying was... That's the beauty of these shows, Breaking Bad. Like, everything just feels so correct in its place. No moment ever feels like, wow, what was that? That makes no sense for this character. Because of moments like this. So, Kim lies to the wife. She continues to go down this path she's built for herself. And then we get to the courtroom, where she tells the judge that she is no longer an attorney. She told the what do you call that? Law people.
I
don't know what you call it. But she told them that she no longer can be an attorney.
The bar.
She
told the bar.
No longer. And before she even told the judge, I knew that she was going to do that.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I should have thought of it too. I was just watching, but...
Yeah, like when they came... No, right before they came up to the judge's face. Uh-huh. Came up to the his desk. I had this feeling like she's not going to do this. Well, at first it was, she's not going to do this because she just is not mentally capable. I thought that's what she was going to say. But then as they came up and started talking, I was like, okay, she's not going to be a lawyer anymore. She feels so bad. Because I had this flashback to Chuck talking about, if we ever break, the law or whatever, we can't be attorneys type of thing. So when Kim, just the way Kim lied to the wife, and then doing what she did, I just felt like she doesn't feel like she can be an attorney no longer. And I knew it.
It breaks my heart. And I'm so mad that she did that. And I totally get it. Because if she's trying to be a good person, even though she feels like she's a horrible person, she's like, at least I can do this because I should honor what I've promised as becoming an attorney. Mm-hmm. Oh, I did not see it, and it made me so sad.
And this brings the conclusion of one of the foundational pillars of the show that I talked about, Kim being an attorney, and her hardworking ethic toward being a good attorney. And now that that's gone, one of those pillars of the show just feels gone.
Yeah.
Like that. Mm-mm. And that's where I thought the show would end in terms of big news. You too?
Me too. Like this episode?
Yeah. When that happened, I was like, okay, this is going to be that big ending scene. There's going to be more, obviously, because I knew that there's going to be a little longer, but I thought that would be the big moment.
Me too. Like, that I thought that Saul would react like, what are you doing? And all that.
When he came to the apartment.
Episode over.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They'd have some long conversation about it in a Better Call Saul way, and it would conclude with that. They could not
leave us there. They just had to keep going.
Yep. Because they're running out of time, is my feeling.
Yeah.
They have to push to get forward, and then there's 3 lines that are said in their conversation in the house that are so sad. This was probably Jimmy's best acting scene in the whole show. Right?
Yeah, it made me tear up. That whole thing.
Yeah.
Their whole conversation. I hated it.
I feel like he doesn't get that sad that often. And usually trying to be dramatic like that has got to be one of the hardest things to do. And it's just, I was very impressed with Jimmy in this scene. So the lines they said were, Kim said, "We are bad for each other." And then his immediate face and reaction was very sad and very impressed. And then Jimmy came back and said, "We make each other happy." And he said, "I love you." In a very endearing way.
I know.
Very endearing. Yeah. I don't think I cried, but I did almost tear up.
I teared up, man. It was sad.
But you have tears rolling?
No.
Oh.
Just there.
Just there.
Locked. But there.
Locked on your pupils.
On display, yeah. I hated it. I feel like with like movies and TV shows or whatever, whenever there's like characters that obviously love each other, but like you just never hear them say it. For me, I'm always living for the moments for them to finally say it. And like this, or have they said it before? I feel like they've said it before.
Yes, they've said it.
When he came back from the desert. I think that's around there is when he said.
It's not a common occurrence.
But it's not common, yeah. And
I wish I had. I've watched the show 3 times, and I wish I had a counter. Because as soon as he said it, it felt like it was the first time, but I knew it wasn't.
Right.
But that's the beauty of the writing. Is it?
Yep.
It felt like the first time. That's what matters.
And it just makes it more sad.
Yeah.
Because it's like they obviously love each other. They obviously care for each other, and Kim's just like, we can't be together. We are horrible together.
Yep.
And I hate it, but I love it.
Mm.
I love how it went down.
Thus ending pre-Breaking Bad times, basically. Pre-Breaking Bad Jimmy.
Yeah. I had no time to mourn that.
I know.
Like, I thought the transition into what we know in Breaking Bad would not be right there and then.
But I'm so glad that was the way.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm so glad.
So good.
That transition was so good. I loved it.
This is what I wrote down.
They could not have done it better.
When I saw Kim leaving. Kim is leaving. Hate, hate, hate.
Sounds like you.
Yeah. But anyways, so good. Love that they just like fast forward. I don't know how long or how far they're into the future, but you just see Jimmy or Saul in his new home, and his office is revamped into what it is in Breaking Bad.
Yep. And the house looked exactly like it was in the first episode of the season. I love his house.
Yeah.
It's so good. It matches him so well. And I love how dingy his office is, but his house is so luxurious.
I know.
I think that's such a funny thing for them to choose to do.
He knows his practice is worth.
I never guessed that he'd... Like, during Breaking Bad, I'm not going to say I ever thought about his house, but I know my feelings were, there's no way he lives in, like, that kind of house.
I thought it'd be the same kind of vibe of the the office. Just
well, that's all you really can assimilate. But I really every detail they have in that house is awesome.
Yep.
And he paid the prostitute.
So ridiculous.
Did you notice her getting the money?
Yes.
Yeah. So now he just seems. So maybe, not maybe. It's pretty certain. Breaking Bad Saul is just in emotional relationship. Hell, basically.
Oh. Like there's nothing there.
Yeah.
It's just blocked off.
He's just blocked it off.
Yeah.
I feel like is what they're doing.
Yep. Because, I mean, like, that whole thing of him on the phone in the shower, on the table and stuff.
He's just constantly working, making his dough. He don't give a crap about nothing. And he's trying to block out. And now it makes me feel so stupid. Because, not stupid is the wrong word. It makes me I should have thought harder about this because throughout the show, I always would say it'd be so cool if they were still dating during Breaking Bad.
Oh,
And, like, they somehow hid that. And the only reason why I said this was because I thought it would be phenomenal writing for them to be able to figure out,
like, tie that in,
tie it together,
okay.
make complete sense of it, and then it completely changes Breaking Bad for you. Like, okay, he does have a woman back home.
Mm-hmm.
He does care. He's just acting this way for a reason or whatever excuses they gave. But
Right.
I realize that's now just wishful thinking, as that would have been an awesome way to end it for me.
Yeah, because
But now that we know,
it makes sense.
there's no way. Yeah, of course he acts that way because he's heartbroken.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Of course he's
And of
going
course,
to his work to fulfill what he lost in his heart.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just
What else is there to
makes complete
live
sense.
for him?
Yeah.
And, like, of course, Kim leaves. She's the only one that's willing to pull the plug and, like, look at themselves and be like, we kind of are horrible together in a way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the other thing that I liked.
What?
Not that it was like this huge epiphany of knowledge, but I loved when Kim said she loved being bad.
Oh my gosh, I know.
And I mean, it's heartbreaking because she feels like she killed Howard because she didn't tell Saul about it, and maybe this could have been fixed if she told Saul. But I feel like this whole time you don't have the fullest grasp. You basically have a full grasp of why she does it. She likes it, but it's just nice to hear her come out of her mouth.
Like, she can acknowledge it. She can admit it. And she hates it. Like, she hates that she loved it, obviously. She's so sad of what's happened.
And usually in life, when you finally allow it to come out of your mouth, that's usually when it becomes real, and she now had to put it away. Mm-hmm.
I just love Kim,
all.
so I'm sad. My question is, will we see Kim ever again, or is that the last?
There's no way it's the last time he's here.
Really?
No.
Okay.
What do you think Gene Takovic has been for?
Oh, well, I know, but what I mean is before that, if that's what happens, like during this Breaking Bad kind of feel, like did she just like leave the state, like totally go, or will they run into each other? Kind of. That's what I mean.
don't know how often we're gonna see her now.
I don't think we will, but I was just wondering if there'd be another appearance before jumping forward.
But the only thing with Gene
present.
Takovic has to be her.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean,
Because this whole show, like we said last episode, it's all Kim and Jimmy.
yeah, true. So you think?
So they're not gonna end not her and Jimmy, right?
I hope so.
Not that they're not together, but just that they're
You'll
like
see-
see him, see the conversation,
yeah.
and see what happens, and see why he cares, or like see what he's doing.
Yeah. Well,
If
what was
Gene,
the last?
if Gene doesn't end with Kim, I don't know. Not end. If it doesn't end with that, big failure. But I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think it'll happen. But, like, what was the last that we saw of Gene? It was just that he was going to leave to a different area with the vacuum cleaner. But then he said, never mind, that he was going to take care of it, right? That's what happens?
Yeah.
Is there going to be, like, a full episode of that then? Like, do you think they'll they'll
A
show
full
us...
Gina episode?
Yeah, do you think... Oh, yeah.
I can see it.
Like, do you think they'll, like, sprinkle it in? Like
I
they've been
bet
doing?
they're gonna do like start it black and white to show that's Gene, and then it'll slowly transition to color, and then like stay Gene.
Ooh.
That's just how my visual aptitude thinks of it is gonna go on. So that's basically the show, correct?
Yeah.
We saw the full office completely decked out.
Yeah.
His Breaking Bad times. Francesca does not look happy.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say.
His hair, I loved. That was like one of the best parts.
Yeah.
His hair in the shower.
His comb over.
Terrible. I loved it. I'm so glad they did that.
It's just showing his
Breaking Bad times. That's how his hair was in Breaking Bad.
Yep.
In the first seasons.
And with what's her name? His assistant, Francesca.
Yeah.
I just love that she's just kind of the grumpy self she was in front. Move your leg or whatever. I've been waiting for that because she's been like a kind of nice and like, oh, I'll help you guys and whatever kind of person.
Well, he took away her decorations. That probably made her not happy.
Yeah. And she probably sees the sleazy things he does.
And she was already annoyed with having all those clients in there, gross clients.
Yep.
So that plus losing her decorations, and she gets paid well, so she feels like she's trapped.
All about the money.
Yeah. So.
Oh, can I also say too that I just love Mike. Like,
good guy.
Like when Gus came back to his home, and then went down the stairs to like the spot where he can go into the other house, and then he like meets up with Mike, and he's like, start operations immediately on the whole super lab. I just love. It's nothing big, but Mike is just such a cool character. Like, he shows no fear to Gus, and he's just there like.
Oh, yeah, super lab. We forgot
doing the job. Yeah.
No.
But of course, I wasn't surprised that that Gus wanted to start the super lab, like finishing it off right away. Not surprised at all.
Not at all.
As soon as the threat's gone.
I even said that in the last episode as well.
Oh, I don't remember you saying that.
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
I said they're probably here. I'll go over that.
Yeah, go for it.
So next up, we got what we said in the last episode, and what we got right, and what we got wrong. But I don't think we got anything wrong necessarily. So we both. Stacy said, I think it's gonna show slower moments of the aftermath of the events of the last episode,
which wasn't hard.
Which is
predict.
a very obvious statement.
Yeah.
And that is basically right, except for the ending of the episode.
Yep.
So I'll give you half points for that, and for being very obvious. But it's not that. I said the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what you said is a little better.
Oh, a lot better. I said two things. I said Jimmy would be shown further into his business, like a quick push forward, where we're gonna see I don't know if I said necessarily they're gonna see getting the balloon and putting it on top, but I said that will be there at least.
Yeah.
And what else did I say? Perfect business. Oh, and I said they're going to have to push forward the timeline because we're running out of time in the episodes, and that is exactly what happened at the end of the episode. Mm-hmm. So I called that one perfectly.
Yep.
And then what did I say before? I called what?
Was it the super lab?
Okay, super lab, yeah. And then I also said I don't know how much more they're going to show of Gus, but the super lab is going to be done very quickly. Like it's going to.
Yeah, I wonder if it's done now.
It's going to immediately be started. That's what I said. Like,
whew.
But it does seem like Gus and Mike were going to continue being it as normal. Obviously.
Do you think they'll show us Gale?
They could.
Right? Because he was the cook before.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
I love Gale.
What a sweet man.
Mm-hmm. what a good guy, man. But yeah, so I was spot on.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you
really
made
good.
a bad, obvious thing. We both said the same thing.
Oh.
So I'm not putting that on you.
Of course not. I mean, it was just kind of one that I think everyone could predict that.
Yeah.
I just was not expecting.
But it was done well. You weren't expecting what?
I just wasn't expecting. Because I thought it would just be that whole thing. Like, the whole episode would be that.
No.
But I didn't think it would further into, like, Kim piecing out and all that kind of stuff.
No.
I thought it'd be, like, way slower than that.
Yes. And that's what else we're going to say. To go back to our description of the show. The foundation breaks with Kim's lawyering ending, the relationship ending, and the times before Breaking Bad ending. It's like, to me, it just felt like the whole show's foundation just crumbled. And that's why I said, the floodgates are opened, the dam broke, what is going to happen now?
It's Breaking Bad.
Yeah. And this is why this episode is so good.
Yeah.
So now we get into our foreshadowing into the next episode. Hopefully we can be close to correct.
I don't even know if I have one.
And that's why I kind of wanted to say that before we get into this part, because now that those floodgates are opened, the river is released. What can be guessed?
Like, so much. You could go. You could say anything. I feel.
Yeah. I feel like they're gonna continue to show past things as well. Still.
I can see that.
Do you see that happening?
Yeah.
So when you said we're not gonna see Kim until the end, I don't believe that. I actually do think they're gonna show, go
the
back to Kim, and then go to Jimmy, show some Gus Mike stuff. I actually hope they don't go into Super Lab details, as it's not needed.
Because we already know.
You can what I want is one montage. Give me one montage showing the completion of this project
Mm-hmm.
in 1 5-minute montage, and then I'll be happy. But I don't want details on that. Just pass it.
I'd be cool with like.
Pass all of them. Right?
I mean, yeah.
What do we need to know about them anymore? It's over.
I know, but I'd be cool just to connect into Breaking Bad of Gus wanting Walter to cook for him. Just maybe something of him wanting more, like looking at what they're producing. Oh no, that's not what it is. He heard about the blue meth, and that's what he wanted.
No, he didn't want it. Gail wanted it.
Oh, I take it back.
Yeah.
See, I've seen the show once.
He was
so.
perfectly fine having Gail cook, but then Gail said it's a big gulf. That 2%, the 1% or 2% difference in their quality was a major gulf, and he says it with a frog in his throat. Gulf. And then Gus could tell that Gail wanted to learn from him.
Big
but
mistake.
Gus said, I don't trust him, so I don't want to do it. But he's like, I need to learn from him because he knows what is better, and I can't do it. I can't get that good without him. And obviously Gail idolized him, so.
Okay, so
but I do hope we see Gail. Yeah.
I do too. Just one more time.
Yeah.
So okay, take it back. I'm cool with the montage as well. And then
I feel like one of the biggest things I want to know is at the end of this episode, actually, so much time passed to Saul, we could literally be a day away from Walt and Jesse.
Oh my gosh.
And the super lab could be done as we speak, actually.
I think it is.
Now that I'm realizing it.
I think it is.
Because time passed.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't for sure say how much time. He could have just used all his money from Lalo to buy the house, put up all the decorations.
Probably.
And he just like immediately went to his work. Not like immediately, but you know.
Yeah. But I think Gus
decently.
saying get
Now.
this going now.
Yeah.
You can just
everything
kinda...
is probably pushed forward.
Yep.
But I could still see them going backwards to see Kim. That's my prediction. I do think they're gonna go back in time.
And I'd like that. Because I love Kim.
But anything else is just in the air.
I know. I don't know what the heck Saul's gonna be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. And I'm excited. This episode has just made me excited to see the next.
And that brings me to our last point. Sadly, well, not sadly, we're going to go on a camping trip with our family. So we'll be gone for an entire week starting Wednesday. So there probably will not be any releases for Midnight Release in that time period, depending on what my co-host wants to do by himself. But we will not be able to make a video of Better Call Saul on Monday like we're going to do this time, like we plan on doing, because we will not be home and I do not have my computer in my facilities. So that episode will probably come out Thursday night or possibly Wednesday, but most likely Thursday, sadly. And then we'll continue on our normal schedule past that time. Just so you know that will be the case. But
Yeah. Just a little summer break.
Yep. But yeah, all in all, I think the score we gave speaks for itself. A 94 out of 100, so solid. 97% entertainment score.
Mm-hmm.
No stars because it is an episode, but that just speaks for itself. The foundation of the show crumbling, following the pattern of Breaking Bad, like I said in the last episode, seeing Kim and Jimmy at the hotel reminded me of Skyler and Walter in the hotel in the last season. And in the third to last episode, or second to last, you feel the foundation of the show crumble, with Hank dying, the family torn apart. Flynn now knows, like the whole writing of that episode was so phenomenal. 100 out of 100, easily in every way, and I'm sensing some simulation there.
Yeah,
The crumbling is happening.
Yeah.
Obviously not in the exact same way, as we
Right.
still have 5 episodes,
Yep.
which is awesome.
I know.
If you would have told me when we first started watching this that we'd have a good 5 episodes of Breaking Bad Jimmy, I'd be ecstatic, and I'm ecstatic right now.
Yeah.
Because this is what I've been waiting for. Because I am a Breaking Bad fan at heart first, and this is the timeline I love, So
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what we
very
learn.
pumped.
Oh yeah, even though Kim and Jimmy broke up in that scene, I was heartbroken for Jimmy and Kim because they both loved each other, but they had to let each other go.
Yeah.
Or Kim felt that way, seeing him immediately get into that state,
Oof.
I was like, ooh, baby.
Let's go.
Let's get going.
Buckle in.
So, yeah. These next 6 days cannot go any faster for me, personally. Yeah, and I'm excited to do the podcast again to see what goes down, what shakes out. But yeah, thanks for listening and watching. Please subscribe and like if you liked it, and give us your review in the comments below, and let us know how close we were to what you thought. And thank you so much, and bless you.